That is now 3 L's in a row. Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and the Bears do it again. That is now 3 straight losses as we failed to pick up a win at home, 33-22 to the San Francisco 49ers. But I have a lot to talk about with this game, so without further ado, let's just get into it.
I'm striving to get rich. That's why I always went 2 years without buying shoes and fits. Things change now. My mom hearing me with my music and she look a little proud.
The Bears offensively surprised me. Justin Fields looked really solid into the last interception, which was pretty much a downfield heave, which he's been taking a couple of those. For the most part, the Bears offensively were able to move the ball, but once Khalil Herbert got hurt, you can tell it was a big difference in his ball game. When he came back, he did not look like the same back. Offensively, Bears moved the ball pretty well in the first half. Every drive they had was points, but the problem with that is that they did not convert to more touchdowns. And that has been the Bears' problem all season. They settle for too many field goals. Too many field goals today. And when your defense played like they played today, the Bears have to score more touchdowns when the opportunity presents itself. They have to get the ball in the end zone more. They just have to do so. Find ways to score points, not just field goals, touchdowns. And I think that was a huge difference today as the Bears settled for way too many field goals. And I think in this first half, the ball game could have been a big difference if the Bears were able to capitalize with touchdowns versus the field goals that they settled for. The Bears settled for way too many field goals, and that is part of the reason why the Bears lost this game. Just too many field goals. You have to capitalize. You have to convert those red zone opportunities, those longer drives. You have to capitalize those into 6 points, especially when your defense played like they played today. Now, we didn't have Khalil. Mack, Eddie Jackson went down a little bit early. I think it was like the second play of the game. He went out with a hamstring injury and did not come back. Offensively, they did look a lot better than I even expected coming into this game. 49ers defense is very good at pass rush. Meanwhile, the run defense wasn't so great all year. It was more average. The Bears have to capitalize those long drives, those drives where they're moving the football consistently. They have to get touchdowns, especially, like I said, when your defense play like the Bears defense played today. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But offensively, Justin Fields, I like that they were able to roll him out more. I like the fact that they ran more of the zone read. I like the fact that they did a little bit more RPO than what they've been doing within the past couple of weeks. And it showed that his athleticism makes a difference with him over the 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. And speaking of that touchdown, that is a reason why you select Justin Fields. That is the reason why you move up in the draft to get him. And able to make guys miss like that in a play that was pretty much busted. The 49ers sniffed it out. They had the pass rush there. The receivers were covered. But when you have an athlete that can do the things that Justin Fields can do, that makes a huge difference. Able to use his speed, use his athleticism, his ability to be elusive and makes guys miss. And you get a busted play that was pretty much stopped, and you turn that into 6 points. That is the reason why you draft Justin Fields. That is the reason why I've been calling for the Bears to use his athleticism more as a weapon. Because we seen today on design QB runs, his ability to get outside the pocket once things start to break down. He is a very talented, athletic guy. The running game, Bears did well until Khalil got hurt. The passing game, it was solid for the most part. It wasn't great. I didn't expect greatness out of the passing game either way it goes, because it hasn't been great all season, which is why we ranked dead last coming into this game. But I believe the Bears offense looked a whole lot better without Matt Nagy on the sideline. Now, it could be scheme, it could be the way they were doing things, or it just could have been the 49ers defense, secondary not being great. The interior of the 49ers defensive line wasn't necessarily the best, but you do have Nick Bosa, who I watched in college at Ohio State, and he's able to change games with his play and his dominance. Armstead is another solid name. Fred Warner is flying all over the field. The Fields to Darnell Mooney connection is there. Fields and Darnell Mooney connection is there, and that is something you could take away from this game. Justin Fields to Darnell Mooney, they have a very solid chemistry, and it's showing. And it's absolutely showing. But the problem with the Bears is that they have to stop settling for field goal. You get in the red zone, you have to be more physical. You have to run the football better in the red zone and punch the ball in and get those touchdowns. Now, David Montgomery, I think, would have made a bigger difference if he was able to go, but I just believe that the Bears lost this game partly because they were not able to convert those winning drives into touchdowns. They settled for field goals. You cannot win games where you're consistently settling for field goals, which is why I didn't pick the Bears to win this game in the first place. And they had their opportunities on offense to score touchdowns, and they just could not capitalize. Now, I'm going to give the Niners defense credit for coming up with plays, but the Bears have to score touchdowns. They have to be better in those situations. They were solid on third down in this game today, but you have to play better. You have to score those touchdowns with your defense playing like the way that they did today. We did see the tight ends get a little bit more involved. Like I said, the Fields to Mooney connection is there. It is there. Allen Robinson, they still have to find ways to get him more involved, but offensively, the Bears put on a whole lot more of a better showing than I ever expected. Coming into this ball game today. Now, we could have capitalized on the touchdowns and get the field goals and touchdowns, but the Bears played better offensively. That is something they could take away from this game against the Niners defense. That's, I'm not going to say the best. They are a little bit middle of the pack, but at the same token, Fields, you can take positive from this game. His athletic ability, they need to use it a little bit more often. The running game, outside of Khalil Herbert getting hurt, that was solid. Offensive line, they did have their moments, but they played a lot better than I expected, because I was expecting Fields to get killed. I was expecting Fields to get murdered out there. Offensively, they played better than I expected. Score those touchdowns, and I think the game would have been a little bit more put away in the first half. And speaking of this Bears defense, where were they today? Where was this Bears defense today? It didn't show up. It did not show up. And that long 83-yard play on a 3rd and 20 from Garoppolo to Deebo Samuel, I think changed the momentum of this game. I think that play, the 49ers able to convert on a long 3rd down and was a step out of bounds away from that being a touchdown. That play absolutely changed the momentum of this game. The Bears were unable to stop the run. The Bears did not get a lot of pressure on Jimmy G, as is he was able to get his guys and pick apart the Bears secondary, which looked like a struggle without Eddie Jackson back there, and Vildor had his struggles as well. And Deebo Samuel was a very solid game today, and I kind of expected him to have a solid game. Elijah Mitchell played a really nice game. This 49ers offensive line blocked really well for the most part of this game. And the Bears defense, where were they today? Where were they? This wasn't Tampa like last week. This is not Aaron Rodgers from 2 weeks ago. And they looked bad yet again. And it's usual fact that the Bears defense has been solid. The last 3 weeks, especially the last 2, they haven't been there. They have not been there. They let Jimmy G really play his ass off in this game today. Roquan Smith, I think, is the only positive that you could take from this. This defense played absolutely horrible. Didn't create the turnovers, which I thought would have been a big key in the Bears winning this game today, is to create some turnovers. But they let the 49ers offense move the ball up and down the field, mainly in the second half. In the second half, the 49ers offense almost basically bullied the Bears defense. 49ers offense bullied the Bears defense, and when they were able to do whatever they wanted to, they basically did what they wanted to. The Bears defense got absolutely bullied. Bullied. And that is not something that we expect from a Bears defense. I don't care if Khalil Mack was out there or not. It would have made a difference, absolutely. But the Bears got out physicaled. The Bears defense got absolutely out physicaled. To let up 33 points against the San Francisco team that has been some struggles offensively. The passing game for the Niners has struggled. The running game has been one consistent point of that offense. The Bears' running defense has not been playing well all season, in my opinion. It hasn't been the best. And they let the Niners do whatever they want in the second half, and they got bullied. They got absolutely bullied. Secondary did not play well. Front seven was not able to get a lot of pressure. And once the Bears do not get pressure on defense, the secondary can be exposed. The secondary of the Bears can be exposed if the pressure isn't there. And it wasn't there today. They were letting the Niners go up and down the field at will. And also very quickly. We get a Cairo Santos mixed extra point after that Justin Fields amazing run. And the 49ers scored like this. The 49ers scored like this right then and quick. And I kind of knew from there that the game was over. Because it seemed like no matter what the Bears did positive, it was something negative that came right behind it. Whether it's penalties, whether it's missed tackles, blown assignments, this Bears defense was nowhere. It was a no-show. It was an absolute no-show, and they got bullied and they got outplayed. It's rough. Let's just say it. I didn't think the Bears season was going to be this rough, but it is rough right now. You get a better game from your offense, but your defense can't match it. And complementary football, last year it was a problem, and I said that it's been a problem this year. Offense has a solid game, or they look solid at times, defense can't step up. Defense plays well, offense can't step up. Today, the Bears offense played a lot better than I expected. The passing game looked better than I expected. The running game, up until the point of Khalil Herbert getting hurt, was really solid. The defense, mainly in the second half, didn't show up. Did not show up in the second half. And this is why you lose a ball game like this, where you absolutely had to have it. You had to have this ball game to give yourself some momentum. Keep yourself a little bit in the thick of things, maybe for a playoff spot, maybe. The defense lays an absolute egg. So overall, better game from the offense. Defense was an absolute no-show. The Bears defense did not show up. And this is why I had to get 33 points scored on them. By a San Francisco offense that is not an offense that's putting up points like this. And this Bears defense has moments where it plays a whole lot better than this. And they did not show up. I would have thought the offense didn't show up, and it was the defense instead. The Bears can never put it all together. They haven't all season, and it showed today they didn't do it again. Justin Fields played a whole lot better game until that last throw, which was basically a heave. This is rough, man. The Bears' woes absolutely continue. And we lose again for the third week in a row. This is rough, but leave this video a like. Comment your thoughts about the game down below. 49ers get the Bears at home 33-22. Subscribe to the channel. Notification bell. I can't talk about this again. Y'all guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day. Now, I'll catch you guys again. Peace.